Part 2. Azure Moon. Verdant Rain Moon. Our chosen paths. The Kingdom Army has captured Fort Merceus. Managing troops from the now stable Western Kingdom and former Alliance territory, the Kingdom Army returns to Garreg to regroup and reorganize its forces. With sufficient might to challenge the Empire, the Kingdom Army finalizes their plans to march on Enbar, the Imperial capital.
Hello everyone, Space Oyster here, and welcome back to Fire Emblem Three Houses, the Ashen Blue Lion Wolves. As Geralt just finished reminding me, in the last part we took down Fort Merceus and the Death Knight, and we got a special cutscene with Mercedes because we did her paralogue. I am very certain that it was tied to her paralogue because I didn't see that on my first Blue Lions playthrough, and I didn't do her paralogue on my first Blue Lions playthrough. So, you know, it lines up perfectly. Anyway, what do we got going on here? Story stuff, I bet.
Ah, there you are. His Highness was looking for you.
Where is he?
He's gone ahead and started interrogating the prisoner, Viscount Kleiman's man. He said he'd like for you and I to be present as well. Will you come with me?
Yeah, sure, why not? Although I hope we don't
cannot
have...
overlook your reckless remarks. Are you really so keen to lose your head?
I only did what I believed was right. I swear to the goddess that I'm not lying. Amidst the turmoil of the tragedy, Lady Patricia was supposed to be the only one who was unharmed. We had been given orders ahead of time to not approach her carriage.
Was Patricia an accomplice?
Of course not. What would my stepmother have had to gain from such a...
Perhaps Lady Patricia would have done anything to return to the Empire, to her husband and daughter.
What exactly are you implying?
For the past few months, I've been spying on lords who defected to the Empire in order to investigate rumors about Lady Patricia. Cornelia's words were true. The two of them, I am afraid they conspired together after all.
Enough of this nonsense. You say she wished to return home? That isn't nearly enough reason to cause such a tragedy.
I do not intend to imply that the two of them were solely responsible for the whole affair. They were likely nobles who opposed the king, or potentially someone who wanted to throw the kingdom into chaos. The Empire, and people like Solon and Kranya had their motives too.
So my stepmother joined with them to cause the tragedy. Is that what you believe?
Ultimately, this is just conjecture based on the evidence at hand. I have no idea what their true intentions were.
I see. We will hear what this man has to say. For now.
My lord had long felt that King Lambert's radical ways were dangerous. At the time, he was approached with an offer to take part in the incident at Duscur. My lord loves his homeland. To me, he embodied justice. We were only doing what we thought was right.
And so, in the name of justice, he caused massacre upon massacre out of love for his homeland. You murdered your own king, killed our soldiers, and involved innocent citizens. And yet you have the gall to speak of justice!
I am only standing before you now because I could no longer bear the weight of my sins.
Did you share those feelings about your home yet? Homeland?
Yes, I believe I do.
Gilbert, lock this man in his cell.
Are you not going to kill him?
I will make that decision once I have had time to consider this man's definition of justice.
Yes, Your Highness.
... Are you okay?
No, I cannot say that I am. Tell me, Professor, how well do you remember your father, Geralt?
Not very well. I didn't get to know him personally. It's like he wasn't in the game very much.
Soon enough, you will come to understand how painful it is to forget the faces of those who have passed on. To be honest, I cannot really remember my stepmother's... that woman's smile, nor the sound of her voice. I always told myself that I would not allow my mind to forget, and yet, all I can recall with clarity is her gazing away, so forlorn. Did my stepmother wish to go home so badly that she would kill Father and me? Kill her false family? Home, to her own blood. Her true family.
There's no way to know for sure. I don't have those answers, that's for sure.
I suppose it doesn't make any difference now. I am asking you questions you could not possibly know the answer to. I am finished with thoughts like that. I am finally able to go on living without clinging to hate. If I truly treasure those who have died, then I must earnestly atone for my sins. Father, Glenn, all of the soldiers who have fallen, the people of Dusker who still suffer persecution. The only atonement I can offer them now is to take responsibility for this broken kingdom that has been entrusted to me.
That's true. Taking responsibility for the kingdom. That sounds tough.
That is why I feel that I must meet with Edelguard and try to talk to her. Do you think it is a fool's errand? Honestly, I think so too. But I must swallow my feelings and grudges, our whole history really, and ask her about this future that she sees. What she aims for once her domination is complete. What kind of justice she clings to as she fights. And why she felt it necessary to start this war. I believe that asking her these things is the true responsibility I have been tasked with as king.
How will you accomplish that?
We will march our troops to the Imperial capital. But before any battle begins, we will set up camp nearby and send a messenger. I will tell her that I need to speak with her in a safe place, without any weapons or troops. As to whether or not she will agree to my request, well, that rests solely on Edelgard.
I'm certain she'll agree. Edelgard seems like the type who'd want to talk things out if possible.
I would like to believe that as well.
I don't know.
You know, Professor, when we fought in Ferdiad, Cornelia mocked me and called me pitiful. But even if it is true that my stepmother never loved me, I am not to be pitied. After all, I have allies and dear friends who care for me. And now, I also have you by my side.
Oh, that's kind of sweet, I guess. Would have been nice if Byleth was more of a character, but no. We had to make him a silent protagonist for dialogue options. I honestly would have just cut out the dialogue options. We don't really need them. Most of what Dimitri said wouldn't have changed if I picked something else.
Returning to the monastery brings back so many memories from 5 years ago. Hard to believe we only spent a year together here. So much happened that it felt a lot longer than that. But it was all so exciting and so much fun. Honestly, I think those memories are what's kept me fighting this long. What was that year like for you, Professor?
It was a lot of fun.
I don't think I could ask for a better answer. Let's all do our best to survive this, so we can come back here when it's all over. I know that's what I'll be doing.
Yeah, I both enjoy and don't really enjoy part 1. Like, it's nice to be able to work on the students and, get them trained up for what they're going to eventually be, but it also gets tedious very quickly. Very, very quickly. Although, to be fair, I start to just get worn out as they closer to the end of part 1 and at the beginning of part 2. Like on my most recent playthrough, I pick it up occasionally and, do another chapter or something, but then I just lose interest and go do something else instead. It's quite... Yeah, so my progress has been very, very slow. Unfortunately, that means it's going to take me a while to get my golden shower.
The damn Dimitri guy plans to chat with the Emperor. Can you believe that nonsense? Really, though, we've been trying to kill each other, and he wants to shoot the breeze? Is he dumb or just insane?
Maybe you're right.
No maybes about it, pal. You ask me? They should settle it like civilized folk. With their fists. Guess it's up to the one true king of grappling to talk some sense into old Dimitri. When I'm done with him, he'll be ready to brawl.
Alright, yeah. Let's see. What was I talking about again? I forgot. Anyway, but, oh, right, yeah. I completely lost interest in my current maddening playthrough.
This is the final battle. Don't you, Professor? When the war is over, everyone will be busy with their own lives. But let's all meet up again someday. Right here at Garreg Mach. You, His Highness, my father, our monastery friends, the knights, everyone.
That's a great idea. I wonder if it's possible. I hope it's possible, because it sounds like a great idea.
It was just a silly whim I had, but I really love it. Ooh, and I'll bake a bunch of desserts for it. Reunion sweets. All we have to do now is win. Let's get to it, Professor.
Yeah, winning. That shouldn't be too difficult. One,
We'll be heading for the capital soon. So much rests on this moment. Will the war really be over if we take the capital?
It might not end right away, but I'm hopeful.
Yay! I'm sure it won't end right away, but that's still great news. I truly believe that a peaceful future is waiting at the end of all of this.
Yeah, I hope so too. But yeah, with maddening, I both love and hate how much stronger the enemies are. Like, I love it because finding ways to work around and defeat them despite being so overpowered is quite the enjoyable experience. Like on my most recent one, I had to warp a character
I'm so glad
in.
You were assigned to the Blue Lion House, Professor. We made it this far, thanks to your guidance and leadership. There's a bitter fight ahead, that much is certain. You have my lance.
We're counting on you.
Let's do this together.
Yeah, but on the most recent chapter I did for Maddening, I had to warp a character to the boss and have them one-shot that boss, because I was starting to get overwhelmed by all the enemies. And some of the builds I've been trying haven't been working out as well. For Balthus, I wanted to try doing him at low hit points, but he's kind of struggling a bit with it. Since it uses Vantage and Wrath, I have to rely on him getting a crit, and I can't quite get his crit rate up to 100%, so it's not the most reliable thing.
It matters not how just our cause may be. In the end, war is nothing more than organized murder. I understand the desire to reach a conclusion, but we mustn't overlook the sins inherent in our deeds.
I understand, of course.
Sorry. I have a tendency to preach. We have lost so much, and in return, we have taken much from our enemies. I pray we can put an end to this cycle of violence. I have a request.
He's got another quest. They're mostly useful for
you, but please ensure that His Highness survives as well. Fodlan's future would be in peril if we lost him. I would not be able to go on.
Leave it to me. I understand.
Good.
Yeah, although we can't really lose Dimitri, because that's a game
Our
over.
next battlefield will be the Imperial capital. There will be no turning back. If you have any unfinished business here, you had best settle it before we depart.
Leave it to me.
I could count on you. Good luck.
Oh, let's see here. Oh. Are you
How would you know what's rare and what isn't? I still believe in the goddess. Sort of. I couldn't recount a single word of scripture for you, but my mother always prayed. I picked up the habit from her. Believe it or not, I'm praying for you too. For you to come back safe.
Oh, it's sweet that you care, Yuri. Alrighty. Let's see, what was I going on about? Oh, right, yeah. So, it is enjoyable and maddening to be able to, see your builds come to fruition and be able to get the clear despite the overwhelming odds, but at the same time, overwhelming odds. It gets a bit tiresome always having to tiptoe around enemy ranges and all that stuff, and then worrying about them suddenly charging you all at once. But I suppose that's part of the enjoyment too, to see if you can work around that, and if not, resetting and readjusting your strategy.
How about this?
Divine Pulse really helps out too. Sometimes I use up Divine Pulse charges needlessly by simply by using them near the start of the map, because that's faster than resetting.
Greetings, Professor. Nothing to report. Momentum's really picking up for this final battle, huh? Even I'm starting to feel tense. Me! Enbar's history goes back 1,400 years. That even predates the founding of the Empire. It's one of the sacred sites of the Seros faith, so it's a pretty big deal. But hey, no need to worry about the monastery while you're fighting the final battle. I've got it covered. I'll defend it to my last.
Oh, right, but that reminds me of a thing I don't know if I remembered to bring it up. I'll just bring it up now anyway. With the assault on Fort Merceus,
Seems like the war is gonna end soon. Once the dust settles, it'll be back to rolling in fat stacks of gold for me.
But, yeah, anyway. So, for assaulting Fort Merceus, Dimitri had to put it off because he didn't have enough soldiers after the battle at Gronder. But on the other two routes where you do have the battle at Gronder, Silver Snow and Verdant Wind, they go directly...
It's such a relief that we've made it this far without having to fight my father.
It sounds like you're scared. But you'll have to face him at some point.
Trying to scare me? What if he turns up while we're charging the capital? But still, I wonder what'll happen to him if we win.
I'm sure we can install him as a vassal. I don't know. Anyway, on the Verdant Wind route after the Battle of Gronder, Claude comes up with a clever scheme and directly assaults for Fort Merceus right after.
Intends to speak to the Emperor? She's his stepsister, I know, but this seems risky.
It's important. Are you against it?
No, I'm not. I'm sure he's thought it through. If the two can settle this diplomatically, that would be the best way out of this mess. No more bloodshed. Let's just hope he doesn't become so overwhelmed with emotion that he's unable to strike her down, should the need arise.
Oh wow, it's weird that Felix of all people would be the one to say we should avoid bloodshed. He always came across as an edgelord type. I guess that's just proof he's not much of an edgelord. Anyway, what was I going on about? Oh, right, Fort Merceus.
I've been thinking about how we've got our own ideas about justice. And so does the Empire. And what's coming? It's not just a battle between us and them. It's our ideals that are fighting. Whoever wins will say they were right, and the other side was wrong. And I get it, that's how it goes. But nobody's willing to talk or compromise. So we'll fight to the death to prove the other guy's wrong. It won't be an easy battle, but let's make sure we come back alive. Right, Professor?
Right. And then, let's see, for Silver Snow, the assault on Fort Merceus, it happens right after the Battle of Gronder too, but that's because on the Silver Snow route, you don't participate in that battle, so your army doesn't lose any forces before going to the fort.
Rhea will be somewhere in the city. I wonder if she can sense us coming. The battle will soon be upon us. Let us both be at our best for what is to come.
I promise to try. So, yeah, Dimitri's the only one who has to fall back due to not having enough resources to assault the fort directly. It's kind of sad and silly in a way.
Really?
But it also paints the war as an odd
I was
thing.
born in Enbar. My mother and father met in a church there. Not too long after, I was brought into the world. I do not understand how war can happen in such a precious place. It is most regrettable.
I'll have to try and avoid damaging the city. But, that's the one thing I always find difficult to grasp about stories with an ongoing war. It's...
Life can be tough, you know. But if you've got your friends to help you through, it can be a lot easier. Maybe you butt heads sometimes, but that's okay. That's not friends, Professor. Plenty of those. It's true love that seems to have passed me by.
There's still hope. I'm sure you'll find the right guy.
But where is my true love to be found? Where is my ray of hope? At this point, you're the only man who pays attention to me. I guess I'll have to take what I can get.
I'm flattered, but no. Anyway, I always find it difficult to grasp the scale of the losses that each side is sustaining.
Whenever I think about how we'll be seeing Lady Rhea real soon, I get happy and really get cleaning. We'll get there for sure, right? We'll see her again?
We'll meet her for sure.
I just gotta believe Lady Rhea is waiting for us in the capital. We just have to find her.
Yeah, but like in well, I guess a video game example of this is in Mass Effect 3. The war with the Reapers is going on in the background during the story events, and you're always hearing about how there's losses.
I'm thinking 10 years ago, Dagda and Bridget attacked the Empire from the west. Their final target was the capital. But they were countered at a port town long before they reached their destination. We spent a lot of time going back and forth, but at least we made it this far.
But, yeah, so they're always going on about losses, but I never really got the impression that your side was losing anything before the big final battle. So, but I think that might be just a human nature thing. Humans in general have a tough time grasping things on a larger scale. It's much easier to understand things on a more personal or smaller scale. So that's why a lot of stories function better when they focus on the individual characters rather than the whole global
Hey you,
thing.
listen up. I've got something to report. The war is careening headfirst toward its grand finale. Do me a favor and get through this mess alive, okay? After the dust settles, maybe I'll go on to guard other entrances in other parts of the world. I'm a dreamer, my friend. Always have been.
Aw, it's nice that you dream, Mr. Dude.
Intriguing. Is it true what they say? That the Archbishop is a captive of the Empire? I've never heard of anything so brash in all the Empire's long history. It is vexing that Lady Edelguard's true motives elude me. If only I still had noble connections to draw on. The loss of my house has proven to be a thorn in my side again and again.
I'm sorry to hear that, Constance. Anyway, I thought I had something to talk about, but I forgot. Oh, right, the Abyss Keeper. In part 1, he always goes on about Mr. Backup, no matter what route you're on.
We're getting along a lot better with the Kingdom soldiers recently. Everyone's in higher spirits. When they first got here, some of them were aggressive toward us, even abusive.
All that's changed now. They've been courteous with us. Generous, even. It's nice to see.
Yeah, and then, in part 2, Mr. Backup never shows up on any route as far as I'm aware.
The war might be over soon. All this time we've been fighting, and the end comes in the blink of an eye. I have no idea what I'll do afterwards, though. I guess I'll cross that bridge when I come to it.
You should figure it out now, but it's okay to take your time.
I will. Though you already seem to know what you're going to do. Which is what, exactly? Actually, don't tell me your plans just yet. Let's revisit this topic when the war has drawn to a close.
I will get on that. Anyway, I'll go ahead and call that here. Thank you all for watching, and I'll see you all next time.